You are listening to the Workbench After Hours podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to the Second Amendment, where we talk about firearms, everything going on in the gun community, and we even try a different whiskey every week. Welcome back to episode number 97 of the Workbench After Hours podcast. No, Chris did not go blonde and grow boobs. He's actually feeling under the weather this week, so I talked my wife into filling his spot for us. So my wife Marie's been on here a few times in the past, but it's been probably at least a year, right?
Maybe something like that, but also don't get it twisted. You didn't convince me. I was voluntold to be here this evening.
I had to pull the birthday card.
You absolutely pulled the birthday card.
I'm like, that's all I want for my birthday is for you to join the podcast this week.
He's full of shit.
Hey, it's not my fault I'm 25 again. But yeah, so this, Marie's been on the podcast, and that was more, I think you were on back when we were still trying to figure out what we were doing with the podcast. We were talking about all sorts of different stuff.
You really didn't have a direction, which is one thing that I said you probably needed to figure out. And then I think that's where you started, gun topics, whiskey of the week, and now it's just a little bit more cohesive.
Yep.
But that's why I didn't feel the need to be here anymore.
Hey, you are in the guns, like we've talked about on one podcast. I think it's How to Get Your Wives into Guns. You told your whole story, how you were terrified of guns when we first met.
Well, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah. And then you took a ladies only gun course, and now you own your own pistol, and you get mad if I go shooting without you.
But you don't go shooting, so there's nothing to get mad at.
You get mad that I don't take you shooting.
We never did get to blow up my beautiful pumpkin.
No. Maybe next year.
I'm not painting a real pumpkin again next year because I want to keep it. That thing was cool. Hopefully he'll show you a snippet, but it was The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. We were going to take it out and blow it up with like a shotgun, but it ended up getting too cold and snowed, and it was to the point to where we couldn't keep it around anymore.
Yeah, so I had to chuck that beautiful masterpiece right in the garbage can.
Yep. But this week, we're going to talk about something a little bit different. There's still all those ATF gun laws that they're trying to pass, but no new ones that have been introduced lately, just trying to vote against those ones that they're coming up with. I did hear a thing, though, that ammo prices are going to go up.
Kill surprise.
Exactly. Imagine that. Yeah, I was actually talking to a guy I was doing a transfer with, and this video popped up from another YouTuber that company that is sales of a company that actually provides a lot of the ammunition for everybody. So it was an open letter to Federal, Spear, Remington, CCI, and HEVI. Shoot. Haven't heard of them, but basically they told the customers that as of January 1st, 2024, there's going to be a price increase on ammo just due to the shortage and stuff with all the raw materials and everything, because we can't seem to make anything in country. We got to outsource everything. So shot shells and rifle ammo is going to go up about 1 to 7%, handgun 22%, and WMR, HMR is going to go up another 1 to 5%. Primers are going to go up 5%, and then powder 10% with limited availability. So if you are somebody that actually loads your own ammo, you're probably going to feel this the most. So we know, that might be something that Biden will love, because, they can't pass these laws that are unconstitutional. So their goal would obviously be to get rid of the ammo, make it really expensive. And Chris and I did a podcast where they were actually going to try and do 1,000% tax on firearms and ammo. Yeah. But that's in previous episodes if you guys want to check that out. But yeah, that was really the big news this week, is keep a lookout, because ammo is not cheap right now, but it's come down a lot more from what it was when we've had this most recent shortage. So I would say if you're looking for ammo, probably go out and buy it now, because prices are decent if you didn't get any deals on Black Friday. And that's going to be kind of our go in with our topic as far as ideas for the gun enthusiast for like Christmas or something for the holidays. So if you have somebody in your family, friends, whatever, that is in the guns, or maybe just bought their first gun and you're looking for some gift ideas, we're kind of give you some ideas based on our experience and stuff. And
which I am absolutely convinced that having me on here for this particular topic is an absolute ploy to figure out what I got you for Christmas. It's not going to work. I'm going to watch it.
To be determined.
I'm double fisting it, so I'm really going to have to watch it.
Obviously, I'll just got to let you drink some more whiskey. This green stuff in front of us is looking really disgusting. What are you drinking?
Oh, it's the original pickle shot, and it is so delicious. If you are a pickle connoisseur like myself, highly, highly suggest.
No.
I drink it on the rocks.
The good stuff that we're drinking this week, we are actually going to try Blade and Bow Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. I bought this bottle mainly because it has kind of a cool history, especially with these keys. If you read the bottle, if you get this, it'll kind of tell you the story behind the 5 keys, kind of going back with this bourbon. But it's actually good. I actually bought this bottle for Hunter for his birthday, and we tried it, and it's really good. So I'm like, well, let's open it up and have it on podcast. Have you try it. I think you'll like it. So it's going to be much better than that pickle stuff.
Is there alcohol in it? Then I'll like it.
Fair enough.
Except for the crap that you served Joe as a prank last week.
Hey, Joe played it off well. He did. So, Blade and Bow. It's a homage to the legendary Stitzel Weller Distillery. Blade and Bow now uses a unique aging process to preserve some of the distillery's oldest whiskey stocks, including some of the last bourbon produced there before it closed in 92. So the liquid is mingled with other fine whiskeys, aged and bottled at Stitzel Weller. They're aged in new charred American white oak barrels, and it's going to have a subtle aroma of fresh fruit and hints of dried apricot, ripe pear, and a sweet roasted grain with a finish of charred oak and warm winter spices. Okay. So that's pretty much when I tried it. That's what kind of exactly what I was getting off of it. There was something that I couldn't pinpoint. And Hunter's wife actually mentioned dried fruit. I'm like, I get it. So, yeah, usually since the last time we were on the podcast, I don't think we were doing it neat back then.
We weren't. We just put it right on ice.
Yeah, and totally ruined it at that point. So, yeah, now Chris and I actually see what kind of aromas we get. We try it neat, and then we pour it on the rocks for the rest of the podcast.
Yeah, but I mean, back then we weren't doing anything this nice.
Right. Come a long way since then.
Yeah.
So you getting any of that dried fruit and stuff on the nose? I'm definitely getting kind of like a vanilla caramel too. And a little bit of that charred oak.
You can definitely get the vanilla on it.
So it's 91 proof, 45.5%. So not too bad.
It does have a little bit of an apple pear taste to it. It's smooth.
Yeah, it's definitely...
My belly's warm.
Yeah. It's not one of those that, when Chris is always saying he gets that burn, it doesn't give you a whole lot of burn in the chest. It makes you a little warm. But I think the very aftertaste, kind of as it sits on your palate, you get more of those spices that they're talking about. Yeah. Like it gets spicier as it sits on your palate.
Yeah. But no, it doesn't burn going down, but my belly is warm.
I wouldn't say it's sweet, but it's on the sweeter side.
It is on the sweeter side.
I think that's mainly because of the fruits. That's going to add a lot of that sweetness to it. But then with that, the spices, I really have grown to like the spicier whiskey. Mm-hmm. And so I think that back end kind of brings that out. And
you've come a long way from Jim Beam's and Pendleton's.
Man. Yeah, I couldn't get past the only whiskey I could drink other than Jim Beam and Sprite was the other bottles of Jim Beam, like their Devil's Cut and Double Oaked, I think. Now, if I try that, I'm like, this isn't good. There's nothing to it. And I'm like, that's good for mixing. But as far as drinking like this or on the rocks, I'd much prefer something with more to offer.
You don't ever drink anything mixed, though, unless we go to Buffalo Wild Wings and you get a Jack and Coke. But...
Right. Yeah, I prefer whiskey on the rocks. But yeah, if we go out to dinner, I'll get an old fashioned or a mixer or something like that, because that way we don't have to make it here ourselves. I don't know. I just prefer whiskey on the rocks now.
Yeah, I'm still really upset about your old fashioned smoker thing, and you threw away the frickin' net.
Hey, it wasn't on purpose.
I let him do it on his own, and then that's what happens.
You can't leave me to my own devices.
That's why we can't have nice things, Keith.
Yep. So if you could keep drinking this neat or put it on the rocks, whichever you prefer. I think once we put it on the rocks, it's going to get slightly sweeter and take away some of that spice.
That's okay.
But I think this would also be, I mean, it would be a good mixing whiskey too if you want to make some sort of cocktail out of it. But I think it was just under $50. And so I've seen it a lot of places, so it's not on allocation or anything like that. But I like it just as a cool bottle on the shelf, but it is actually really good.
And when he says as a mixed drink, don't be dumping your Diet Coke in there. He means like, you know, like a Manhattan or something.
Correct. Yeah, don't ruin it.
Yeah, he would be so mad at me if I put Diet Coke in this.
Oh, yeah. I know there's a TikTok. I don't know if it is true or not, but there's a guy with a bottle of Van Winkle, and then he mixes it with Coke.
Oh, my friend Kristen saw somebody do that with a rare bottle of Whistle Pig and then mixed it with Diet Coke at a bourbon bar. And she's like...
Yeah. I don't know. With everything today, it's like, do we really know if that was what that was, or did they drink that bottle and then put something else into it just to get a rise out of people? You never know. But, I mean, if you paid the money for that and...
but this was an eyes-on experience at a bar.
Was it?
So, yeah not a TikTok.
I bet you they did that just to piss people off online.
Well, I'm sure that they did.
I'm sure they got a lot of hate comments.
Or they're just that ignorant, because people are. I'm very, very much for natural selection. Just take the labels off wood chippers and let the issues work themselves out.
Yep. This is why we don't have kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've tried it on the rocks yet, but it does get a little sweeter, and kind of that spiciness isn't as punchy.
No, it's nice though.
It's nice. It's a nice sipper. I like it. Like I said. So going into our topic as far as gift ideas for the gun enthusiast or something like that in your family or even friends, I think even besides just guns, if you know somebody's into whiskey, you can never go wrong with gifting a bottle of whiskey at all. Like our family, we do a white elephant gift with my mom's side every year, and there's at least a couple bottles of whiskey in that or some sort of booze. And those are the ones that always try to get stolen.
Always booze. So much booze.
Yes. And you kind of want to find out if there's like certain whiskeys that they don't like. Maybe they don't like rye or anything. So kind of figure that out. But honestly, though, if they are in the whiskey, you can never go wrong.
But even going into that, like if you don't know if they, prefer a rye, or, if they are somebody who just likes a Jack and a Coke, you can get the ice cube containers. We have found that the big square ones work the best. The round ones are nice aesthetically, but they are a pain in the ass to fill up. And they never keep their shape. I've tried funnels. I've tried slow drizzle. I've tried everything else. It's messy. They don't have a perfect round shape. They get awfully cloudy. We've found just the regular square ones are so much easier to use.
Yep, and get out of the tray, because that comes in too, and you got to peel them apart, whereas this is just a normal tray. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the round ones melted faster.
They do.
So yeah, I mean, I think, did you get me that as a Christmas gift, the ice trays?
Somebody got you some round ones as a gift, and then I think you and I maybe bought some, or maybe I got you some as a gift. I don't know. I bought you a lot of gifts over the years. I can't keep track. Right?
Hey, you've done good.
This is what, our 9th Christmas together?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you've done good, because obviously I've gotten into whiskey and then guns, between the business and just personally liking guns. You've done good as far as coming up with ideas. Even when you weren't into guns, you did well, like as far as coming up with something. And it's not like something that you just go out to the store and buy. It's always like creative stuff.
I got you an ankle holster one year that you wanted.
Yep. You got me and what's could go either for the gun enthusiast or whiskey drinker, is they have the glasses with the bullet in them.
Oh yeah, they were and I can try and remember the site. I think it was like a personalizedgift.com. I mean, it was just a very, very basic website, a personalizedgift.com. And they do have glass tumblers that are hand blown, and then they do have a bullet like stuck in the side of it. I will tell you, be very, very careful with those. Do not put them in the dishwasher. We made that mistake. They had to send me a new set pretty quickly because we made that mistake.
Yes.
So hand wash only with those, but they are really, really neat as kind of a novelty item. Like if you've got a friend coming over and you want to do a really nice whiskey to showcase, and you kind of use those. So.
Yeah, they're cool. Or just have it on display too.
To display.
And they have different calibers depending on which you're into. And since then, there's been a lot more companies come out with those things. So like Grunt Style, the t-shirts that we got, they came out with their own. So there's a ton more companies that are actually producing those now. I would recommend buying the more expensive ones because it's probably a higher quality glass.
Yes.
Whereas I think one that we had, the bullet just fell out.
It did. The next set that they sent me, I'm honest, and I explained it to them like, look, it didn't come with instructions. It didn't say don't put these in the dishwasher. I'm not hand washing shit. I put them in the dishwasher. I was upfront with them and let them know, hey, this happened, and they did send me a new set, and we've not had any issues with those. So.
Yeah. So that's always a great gift.
Yes.
You can never have too many tumblers, especially ones with bullets, because those are super cool.
These whiskey snifters that you have, I bought you a set of these for Christmas a couple years ago.
Yes, these are awesome, especially if they are in the whiskey. It's nice to get the aroma and stuff out of these. You can get away with it in the regular tumblers, but the way these glasses are shaped, I think they're called Glencairn glasses.
They are, and it's the bulb, the way it's bulbous here, and then it tapers up at the top. As you swirl, it allows it to oxidate the bourbon or the whiskey, and so that you can get all of those aromas in there. It's kind of like a wine glass and swirling it and everything to get the oxygen in there so that you can taste the black pepper, the currant, that sort of thing in a wine.
Yeah, and they're relatively inexpensive, too.
Yeah.
These are, anyway. Yeah, that's good gift. And then even decanters. I mean, there's all sorts of, you could get like a fancy decanter looking, you could get a basic one, and they even have one shaped like guns.
I've looked at getting you decanters over the years. I'm like, what's the point? He's just going to fill it up and empty it, fill it up and empty it, fill it up and empty it.
What are you saying, Marie? You call me an alcoholic?
No. I would never.
I usually drink too much to put anything in the decanter. I mean, I don't know, if we had a party, maybe do that, but
I think they're pretty. I always wanted to get you like an etched one with like, our last name on it, and like you don't have a family crest or anything. I think that'd be even cooler, but
just a double barrel shotgun.
Double barrel pink eye from Hazel. What?
We got a yeah.
Not me laughing at my own jokes.
Right. Yeah. So we actually got a decanter for our wedding that we've never used. And it's a pretty nice one.
We did?
We did. It's in the bar downstairs. We have one.
Oh, it's for wine. Oh, Hunter and Jasmine got that for us.
Can you use it for whiskey, or is it specifically for wine?
That one's really for wine.
What's the difference?
It's the way that it's bigger base on the bottom, and then it's thinner.
It's got a long
towards
shaft.
The top. Yeah. Yes, Keith, it has a long shaft. And what that is for is you tilt it on the side, and like when I worked at steakhouses and stuff like that, especially if you have like an older bottle of wine with sediment, you can light a candle underneath that and you can watch the wine flow into the decanter to keep the sediment out. That's where the candle comes into play. But then it oxidizes the wine as it goes down through that longer shaft into the larger bottom. That's what it's for.
I didn't know wine got sediment in it.
Yes, especially if it's an older bottle.
Yeah. Is it just like the grapes and crap?
Yes, because wine gets a lot of its dryness and stuff like that from the tannins, which is the skin of the grape.
Gotcha. Yeah, you and I went through a wine phase for a while there.
Ah, yes. Thank you, Hereford House, Kansas City, for making all of your servers mini sommeliers.
Yep. And we got to the point to where we were drinking enough wine. We're like, you know what? At this point, we need to buy the box stuff just so we don't go through so many bottles.
Don't shame me. I love me a box of Sunset Blush.
You know, my favorite wine that we've ever had, and I mean, my palate for wine, I mean, you could give me the fancy bottle of wine versus a cheap bottle. I may be able to tell a little bit of difference, but that's about it.
Not
really. My favorite brand, I guess you would say, is Menage a Trois.
Oh, yeah, that one's good. I like that one.
Yeah. I like the drier wines. I like Pinots, Cabs, but good house wine, good blend, like the blend from.
Yeah.
Maybe
the Menage a Trois is good for that. So is Bogle.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the Bogle too.
Yeah.
But it's like I have a hard time spending more than $20 on a bottle of wine, whereas whiskey, I mean,
Oh.
yeah, we won't talk about the cost of whiskey bottles, but I feel like obviously a bottle of whiskey is going to last you longer than a bottle of wine.
Yes.
And then once you open the bottle of wine, it stays good for what, a couple days maybe?
If that, but I mean, who opens a bottle of wine and doesn't finish it?
You've done that a couple times.
Not often. Was I ill?
Maybe some people do. I don't know, but you open this bottle and it's only going to last. It's not going to last forever because we did let some oxygen in, but it is going to last.
But that's not the same as wine.
I know. That's why I'm saying. That's why
bad.
I have no problem spending more money on a bottle of whiskey versus wine because the whiskey, even once you open it, it's going to last longer. And they look cooler. I mean, you got a bottle of wine. A bottle of wine is just all looks the same, maybe a different label.
Yes, all the bottles look cooler as they're trickling out of all the storage you have in this office into all of the storage we have everywhere else in the house. It looks so cool.
Are you complaining? Because you usually get to try it most times that we try it.
Or use. If I go, can I have a glass of whiskey? Oh my God.
She got the Bell Mead and the jukebox that we've had on the podcast. Those were the two bottles that Chris and I, there's only been two where we're like, we can't drink any more of it. And
I mix it with Diet Coke.
Yeah. Yeah. There's only been two bottles I know of that we were like, nah. Because otherwise, they go back on the shelf and they end up getting.
You want a sip of this? It's a really good palate cleanser.
No, that's disgusting. No. I don't want your pickle vodka stuff.
It tastes like pickle juice.
You're going to ruin.
It's a palate cleanser.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, anyway, so anything to do with kind of whiskey, you can also customize the guns, but it's pretty easy to buy for anybody guns related, especially if they're just now new into guns. They probably don't have a whole lot. So there's a lot of even cheap stuff out there that you can get them. So other than like personalized stuff, like you can get on Etsy and get them like personalized, whatever. Like this Boomstick sign that's up on the shelf up here. It's got Boomstick, but there's an AR cut out of a piece of metal. I think my sister got me that.
Your sister got that for you last year for Christmas.
So it's something kind of cool to hang up somewhere. Any type of, like, I really liked gun calendars. I haven't gotten a calendar in forever, but I used to buy like gun calendars where like Glocks would have different models, or even the ones with the.
Should I find you a gun calendar with sexy ladies in it and roll it up and stick it in your stocking?
I mean, that or sexy ladies and motorcycles, because, I'm into motorcycles now. So either way, either one.
I keep telling you, I'm like, you're gonna need to do that living will. You ride a motorcycle and get on roofs. Like I'm gonna need a will.
Yeah. But one thing that is actually kind of cool, and these have been out for a little while. I actually saw them in person at Shields. Is there's a company called Goat Guns, and they make these little model guns, and you actually have to put them together, and they function, but they're and you put them on a stand and display them. They're really cool.
But they shoot?
Yeah, they're on the website right here that you can see. I don't know if they actually shoot rounds or not, but you literally have to put them together like you would a normal rifle. Or they have anything from a standard AR-15 to an AK. They got the M1 Garand. They have a gold AK if that's your thing. They also have like a Barrett sniper rifle. They got a 1911. All sorts of stuff. I think the cheapest one on there's they got some stuff for $30, but those are really cool. And they're bigger than you think. They look pretty small on the website, but I don't know. They're probably about 6 inches or so. And look, they would make a cool project because you get to put them together, but then also a cool to display in the office or something. Like I would love to have one for, the shelf back here or a shelf in the office. They're just cool. And it's something fun and practical.
Yeah. Speaking of displaying stuff, ladies, your conceal and carry purse does not have to be ugly, by the way. Keith bought me a conceal and carry purse a few years ago. That is beautiful. And it switches from a crossbody to also a clutch. And it holds my 9mm in it.
Yep. That is one cool thing about our gun range that's right by us. If they have a lot of stuff geared toward ladies too.
They do.
And they have a lot of clothing and holsters and purses that aren't your, like she said, ugly type. I mean, I would say, fashionable purses, right?
I mean, I use it as like an everyday purse if I need it as a clutch for like a nice, like if we're going out for a wedding or something. Obviously, I'm not packing to go to the wedding, but you know, it does double as just a nice everyday purse. And I have another conceal and carry purse. It's uglier than sin. I don't ever use it.
You got that at a gun show.
I sure did.
Yeah, it was cheap, and you know, it was what, pink and gray or something like that.
Yeah, it was ugly.
Yeah, that was more of a
Doesn't have to be
impulse buy. But yeah, if you have a lady that needs a concealed carry purse, I mean, that is always a great idea.
Hey, I think Centerfire even sells like some type of lingerie that holds your piece in it.
Yep. And they
Valentine's Day, gentlemen. Valentine's Day.
Right. Exactly. There you go. And then kind of going on the ladies' side, Eclipse Holsters, who we did an interview on a podcast here, you know, with women, it's hard to find a holder because a lot of women like to wear leggings or even like skinny jeans. And it's hard to find a holster that fits those. Well, they make a specific holster to wear with those. And so...
Didn't you get me one?
Yes, it's actually right behind us. It's up there. It's on the shelf.
Oh, I see it.
But yeah, so if you know a girl that wants to carry, but they don't wear normal jeans, they wear more leggings, check out Eclipse Holsters, and they have a certain buckle type that is specific for that because you're not wearing a belt to hook it onto like you normally would. So that's a great idea. And they make them for pretty much, I wouldn't say most guns, but a lot of the most popular guns, and they custom order them. So they have different prints that you can get, and they're coming out with new prints all the time. I follow them on Instagram.
Mine was super cute that they sent me. Keith picked it out for me, but he knows my taste.
Yeah. So those are pretty cool. Can never go wrong with a holster. I told her I wanted an ankle holster one time and did that. So holsters, and then you can never go wrong with a box of ammo.
Well, that's true.
Whether it's self-defense ammo, which is a little bit more expensive, or just normal target ammo. Like, know the caliber of the gun they have, because you can't return ammo, and just good stocking stuffer or gift.
Yeah. Or, you know, if you are a gun enthusiast and you've got a child that's starting to get a little bit older and you want to introduce them into some gun safety in an appropriate way, I mean, nothing wrong with a gift card for a class in their stocking.
Yeah.
That's completely appropriate and it's safe and they'd be in good hands because they're professionals.
Yeah. Gift for a class or even just a range.
Yeah.
Like you could just get a gift card to the indoor range and use it for either a class or just the range fees or or purchase something up there. So gift cards are always good.
Well, that's because that's people who aren't into shooting or anything or don't do it that often. They don't realize that those fees can really get you. So if you're like, well, I know Keith and I know that he likes to shoot his gun, but he never does. Range gift card, that'll take care of their fees, their targets, everything. They'll love that.
I got you a gift card for a Centerfire to go towards your concealed carry course.
I still need to do that.
Yeah.
But I never leave my house now, and it's legal in Kansas. So.
Yeah, and you don't cross state lines a bunch anymore. So, but it's another good class to do, and probably for you it'd be a good refresher since we haven't shot in a while.
I just need to go do it. The holdout has been I've asked like my mom or my mom's friend Jamie or like Deb or like, and all these ladies are like, yeah, I'll do it with you, and then they never do. So I think I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet, so to speak, and do it myself.
Yep. And another
pull the trigger.
Another good idea, kind of in that same line of things, is safety gear.
Yeah.
You know, safety glasses. Or if they're not wearing eyeglasses like we do, you want some safety glasses, earmuffs.
I was about to say, don't use the rental earmuffs. Man, they stink.
Don't use the rental ones, and don't just use the earplugs. You want to use both the earplugs and the earmuffs to double up, because if you're in an indoor range, especially, and you get somebody next to you with a .308 rifle, that's gonna suck for you.
Do you remember that time we went to the range with my mom and my Uncle John and Aunt Sherry, and my mom forgot she was wearing the earmuffs and the earplugs, and she came out of the range, and I said something to her, and she goes,
yeah.
Take your earmuffs off. You like, I'm surprised the car and the alarms aren't going off. Like,
yeah.
It was loud.
I'm sure that's not the first time that's happened there at all.
Oh, I laughed really hard. So,
yeah. But yeah, I got my mom pair of those once when my mom got into guns too. And yeah, I ended up buying her safety glasses and some earmuffs and some gun cleaning stuff. Like, because, gun maintenance, especially if you know that they don't have a lot of it or they just bought a new gun, they got to use stuff to clean it. So you can buy them kits. They come like different price ranges too, depending on the pistol, rifle, shotgun. You can buy a kit or you can buy them in pieces if they, there's certain gun cleaner or lube that they like to use.
Can of Ballistol, perfect for a stocking stuffer.
Yeah, exactly. Gun mats. If, I don't clean on a dining room table because she would kill me, but having a gun mat is nice. I specifically like the tech mats because they have diagrams of whatever gun you have and kind of shows all the parts and pieces to it. But then it also keeps any solvents that you use from bleeding through to the table underneath there. So if you do have to do it on like a coffee table or a table inside your house that your wife doesn't want to get ruined, cleaning the gun on the tech mat keeps that stuff from bleeding through, and they're super cheap.
Yeah.
And they come in different sizes too. So if you have just a pistol, maybe just get the small one, or if you got a long gun, obviously get the longer one. And they also double as mouse pads. I was
about to say, don't you have one on your desk right now?
Yeah, it's basically the same one over there.
Well, you have two out in the garage.
Yeah. One of our family members bought one just to use as a gaming mouse pad.
Joe.
Yeah. So those go a long way, and they're super cheap.
I bet you if I thought back over all these years, I could probably think of at least one thing I got you for Christmas every year. I'm not going to bore our listeners with that. Now,
any recent ideas you can give out?
No, because I have a really cool one for you on order.
I'll put my headphones on mute so I can't hear it.
No, you're full of shit. You know why? Because you have to go back and edit this video. I am not a moron. Don't let the blonde hair fool you, folks. Okay.
Dang. Hey, I'm gonna keep trying. Get some more whiskey in you and see what happens.
I can never change my hair color. I do too much dumb stuff. Nothing against blondes. I am one. So.
Yeah. So I mean, anything safety related, like gun cleaning. I mean, there's so many different things out there depending on where they're at with guns. Even if like somebody like me who's got all the stuff, it doesn't hurt to have extra stuff. Like there's also like multi-tools for guns that you can get, or just any type of tool that would make
rubber mallet, something that you don't even think about. I got Keith a rubber mallet one year because he was having such a hard time getting the pins in his AR builds, and he didn't want to damage like the Cerakote or anything like that. I picked him up a rubber mallet. My brother wrapped it for him in the exact shape of what it was, which was actually pretty funny. But I mean, that's like $5-6 at Home Depot.
Yeah.
Like super useful. Also, Cerakote, look that up. That is expensive, especially if you are into building your own ARs and then you want to do something special with it. Get a gift card to a Cerakote place. They'll love you for that.
Yeah. Yeah, that is really great.
I'm glad you think so. That's not one of your gift ideas. Just
yeah, I know. You've kind of.
I just thought of that.
There you go. There you go. From a woman. There you go.
There you go.
Is there anything else that, like because you don't shoot a lot, but you own a gun and you like guns? Is there anything that?
It's not my fault. I don't shoot a lot.
Is there anything that you would particularly? Is there anything else like you can think of that you would need or want? I've already got your Christmas done, so don't worry about that. But is there anything else that you think that you could use as somebody that owns a gun but doesn't? I mean, you're not like crazy into them, like.
I think that I would be more into them if I had more experience, which just kind of comes down to the range time, that sort of thing. Obviously, I need to do my conceal and carry because even though Kansas, that it doesn't matter if I have my gun in my purse or in my car with me, but in the instance that I do travel into Missouri, I could get in quite a lot of trouble. But as far as like needing things at this point, no, I don't think so. Other than, they make the holsters for the leggings. I think I would just want a pair of conceal and carry leggings because, well, real pants are overrated.
Yeah. So. Yeah, they make all sorts of leggings out there for that stuff too, with different pockets.
I think that would probably, I would probably really like that because it's like I've got the leggings that like hold my phones, and then it's like in the waistband it's like it holds a key in case you want to go running, which the only running I do is my mouth. you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Like just like a pair of leggings that holds it. Okay, bet. Like I would do that all day.
Would you think like a jacket or coat that has a concealed carry pocket would be?
Yes, they make hoodies that do that actually, to where it's like you can go like this, and it's like if you lift the hoodie up, like you can see the gun, but then it's also you can be like,
yeah. There you go. Some ideas for your wives or girlfriends, or.
I feel like if people only listen to this podcast, they're gonna be like, I don't understand Keith's wife. But if you watch the video, I'm very expression with my face and my hands.
She keeps hitting the microphone, that little bump that you keep hearing. It's okay. Hunter used to do it all the time.
I cheersed it accidentally earlier.
Hunter does that. It's all right. You can't help it. It happens.
You told me to keep it close to my face, so I have it close to my face, but
it's fine.
Accidents happen.
Yeah, I mean, those are some great ideas for the women. Obviously, guys, same thing. If you're looking to buy a guy, any type of, I mean, they make concealed carry hoodies too. Holsters are always a place. You can honestly never have too many holsters because I mean, with guys too, it depends on the time of year. Sometimes you're going to be carrying a different gun, so you have different holsters depending on, like in the wintertime, you know, I carry a bigger, thicker gun with me. So it just depends on whether I'm going to put it in my coat pocket or my actual jeans or something, versus summer is going to be a little bit different. Or maybe you don't carry it necessarily on you, but maybe you keep it in the car. So like one of those gun boxes or gun locks. If you don't have a safe, those biometric gun safes that will like hold like 1 or 2 pistols are a pretty good idea. Mm-hmm. They're a little bit more on the expensive side, but you know, if you're looking for something cool or maybe to go in with somebody, that's a cool gift idea. Something to put like in your bedside or something like that, or even have one of those for your vehicle in case you go somewhere to where you can't carry your gun on you. You could still securely lock it up in a vehicle, because you know there's all sorts of vehicle thefts now. So you want to keep your gun safe, even if they steal your vehicle. A little harder for them to get that gun. Or
ladies, if funds are not an issue, send your man and a friend on a trip to do the Eagle Rare tours, the Buffalo Trace tours. Get them out of your house and your hair for a few days. That's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. There you go.
What? I'm serious. That exists.
Yeah.
And I would do that. I keep waiting for you and Grace to be like, well, we're going to go to the Eagle Rare thing, and be like, I salute you. Get out of my house.
Exactly. Leave me alone. Yeah, there you go. And then, like, I like stickers.
Yeah, you do.
So good stocking stuffers, like anything gun-related stickers. I mean, a lot of guns come with stickers, but I mean, just there's a bunch of different cool ones that you can buy online or anything like that are just cool. I really like, you know, gun shirts that are gun-related, especially ones that might piss the Democrats off. I really like those.
Grunt Style always does good shirts and hoodies.
And they got a program to where you can maybe sign somebody up for like a month or two of, they get a membership shirt every month. And her brother and I did that for a while there.
You guys have matching shirts.
Yeah, we got a lot of matching shirts.
It's funny.
So that's cool. Yeah.
Especially when you show up on the holidays wearing the same shirt.
So T-shirts with gun stuff on them are pretty cool. Colin Noir, I'm sure a lot of you know who he is. Very big gun enthusiast on YouTube and everything. He's got some really cool gear on his store. So, I mean, any of that stuff is really cool. I actually want to get some of his stuff. It's really cool. So any type of 2A, Pro 2A gun clothing would be another good one.
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of different stuff on Etsy, like we've said, that you can customize and kind of be something a little unique and different.
Stay out of my phone. Stay out of my phone.
You always have your phone on you anyway.
Yeah, don't look at my Etsy app right now.
Why would I pull up an Etsy app? That's probably the last app I would look at.
Because Etsy has a lot of cool shit.
Exactly. Let's see, like, I don't know, there's all sorts of cool things that
I got you socks last year that I don't think you've ever worn them, but on one sock on the bottom of it said, if you can read this, and then on the other sock it said, bring me a whiskey. And it had like ice cubes and whiskey bottles all over it. Good stocking stuffer.
Yeah.
I think I got those on Amazon.
I think they're, I got a couple different sock drawers. I'll have to look for those.
Yeah, I got them for you last year. I think they put them in your stocking.
Yeah. So lots of cool stuff. I mean, honestly, it is probably easy if the person you're buying for is into whiskey and guns or both. There's endless ideas out there.
And if they are into whiskey or guns or both, then you should become friends with us.
And then you add in motorcycles, which we're obviously I'm into. I'm actually setting up because we've done a lot of the motorcycle stuff on this podcast and channel, but I have that separate channel now for that. But I'm getting my bike set up for a passenger. Marie over here. So, because she's
Me being the passenger.
Yeah, she's like, I want to ride. So, all right. So I got the passenger pegs installed, got those done. I had the dealership install those with the 5,000-mile service, and I'm working on probably by the springtime, I'll have a 2-up seat.
That's good. That's good because come the fall, I'm going to want to take a motorcycle ride to Weston because they've got that windy road with all the trees and stuff. I think that would be way better than in a car.
Yes. Anything's on a motorcycle is so much better than a car, unless it's snowing or pouring rain.
Yeah, then no.
Like I still ride in the winter. Like if it's above 45 to 50, man, if I have the time before it gets too dark out, I'm going to go for a ride.
Yeah. But I mean, as far as like motorcycle accessories, that sort of thing, Revzilla.com is kind of really where you want to go. Because what is it that Keith says? What does HD stand for? High dollar. I could not agree more.
Yep.
I have looked at Harley Davidson's site and it's like even just a patch. I'm like, no, you can keep it.
Yeah. So gift cards for anything or gift cards are always good ideas. My sister just got me a gift card for Revzilla to go towards that seat.
You're welcome.
Yep.
She asked me what you wanted for your birthday. I'm like, get him a gift card from here.
There you go. I got it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we'll have that. So yeah, I mean, I think most people that are into guns are kind of into whiskey and bikes, and it's all kind of like group. But or that's the one bad thing about this is they're all three super expensive hobbies. Even just guns, like just guns in general, especially now that the price of ammo is going to go up. Just going out to shooting at a range day is expensive because you're probably going to go through at least a couple boxes of ammo at least. And, if on the cheap side, if you can find 9mm for say $20 for 50, maybe 15 if you go super cheap. I mean, that's still expensive. Then you got to pay the range fees. Oh, and targets. Targets are another good option because you could obviously buy targets at the range, but there's a lot more.
I would just go to Bass Pro or Academy or somewhere and just get a pack of things.
So, cool targets. I like the ones that actually kind of do they explode a little bit so you can see the impact mark or whatever.
You would like those.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're black, but then because the regular paper targets, it just creates a hole. And sometimes if you hit the hole twice, you can't see it. But then these have it kind of breaks away some of the coloring and you can see it a lot better. So those are cool. We actually have some. So yeah, targets are cool. Gift cards, again, ammo, especially knowing ammo prices are going up. Every little box helps.
Which I'm sure some of you were annoyed and be like, God, they keep suggesting gift cards. Gift cards, there's no thought behind them. I tend to agree mostly, but sometimes when it's like you need one more thing or this person's really difficult or they didn't give you a lot of ideas, a gift card is a safe bet. It just is, especially depending on where it's from. Now, if you know me, say you're my husband, and you know me, and I get a $50 Visa gift card, I'm going to be like, you did not put any fucking thought into that, did you?
But then you're also going to be like, ooh, I can go buy myself something. But you don't buy yourself anything. I usually buy you most of your clothes. Is that not right?
I mean, I go to the thrift store.
But
I shop on Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually I'm just like, Marie, send me some things that's in your cart.
I don't put a price on clothing. I also never leave my house. I have fulfilled my want of life. I never leave my house. I had to put gas in my car for the first time. What was it, Saturday? For the first time in 2 months. I put $15 in. That'll get me through to the new year.
Yeah.
Well, it will.
There you go. Let's just go ahead and sell your car then. We'll just take the bike.
No.
I mean, my dad, for example, literally anything you buy him, he never uses or wears. So you have to get him a gift card.
Yeah.
He's always like, one year he's like, oh, I want, a certain type of Chief shirt or KU shirt. Never see him wear it.
No, actually, I had him that Kansas Jayhawks, the KU titty koozie made. And he uses that.
Well, of course he's going to use that. I mean.
I was very thoughtful. I
Yeah.
was very thoughtful. The boobs say KU. He loves it.
Yeah. It's, that aside, it's better to buy somebody a gift card so they buy something that they want versus you spending money on something that they don't use.
There's nothing worse than a bad gift.
Yeah, it sucks. Especially if you don't get a gift receipt.
You shouldn't have. Really?
Really? Thanks. Or they buy you something a size too small. It's like, shit, I'm fat. Or the opposite, they buy a size too big and you're like, what, you think I'm fat or something?
Hey, I still like that buffalo plaid button up that you got for Christmas one year. It did not fit you. Looks great on me though. Thank you.
Yep. A lot of my shirts that I've outgrown, thanks to her, she inherits. Like this nice 47 Chiefs hoodie over here. She is now inherited because I no longer fit in mediums.
It's so comfy.
Yeah.
He says it's all my fault.
It is. I used to be able to wear mediums and like everything.
Okay, well, Keith, you know what? I don't appreciate your poor attitude because this is what I always tell you. One day you're going to be old and ugly, but you're still going to be hungry.
Yeah. Maybe.
Looks fade. You're always hungry.
Fair. Obviously, I'm not going hungry because I keep outgrowing my clothes.
I made him fried chicken last night. Wasn't that nice of me?
Not helping. Not helping. Yeah, any other... I mean, honestly, just pretty much anything, really. I mean, there's stuff you can get super cheap if you're on a budget, and then there's more expensive things you can get. It just honestly depends. Going back to whiskey, you can get a bottle of whiskey for, hell, you can get a bottle of whiskey Chris and I found for $5.95.
Ew, I wouldn't drink
I don't
that.
know. We're going to have that on the podcast just to see. But then, you can, I mean, average, probably a good average bottle, I would say in the 30s. You still find a good whiskey in the 30s. One that Chris and I really liked, if they like a lot of flavor, is that Johnny Drum. We keep bringing that up. That stuff was really good.
I'm so sad that that's gone.
Well, you have whiskey in front of you.
I know.
There was one episode that you were on, maybe a year and a half ago or so. It was like we were in the old setup where we were still facing the other way.
Is that the one I got drunk on?
Yeah, we had the bottle of Yellowstone.
Oh, yeah, that shit was good.
And it's funny to watch because Marie at the beginning is kind of timid, not talking much. And by the end of that,
I was the star of the show.
you were the star of the show and you are noticeably drunker.
Which point?
It's just funny watching the progression of Marie throughout that whole episode.
Yeah, well, I'm sure your family says the same thing. We watch the progression of Marie at all of the family get-togethers.
Yes, we do. And then sometimes I'm like, oh, we got to go.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny on the last episode Hunter was on. He was, I think people forget just how he talks. But Chris and I were drinking whiskey. And Hunter by no means was drunk or anything like that. But somebody commented on that video that said, you need to cut the guy in the white off. And I went back and kind of watched like towards the end of it. I'm like, nope, that's just the way Hunter talks and is. Like, it's kind of funny. That made me laugh. I sent it to Hunter. He's like, what the hell?
He's just he's like, squirrel. He's a little scattered.
Yeah,
That's all. But that's just very much his lovable personality. Like, it
Very
just
scattered.
is.
We'll eventually get him back on. The whole having a baby thing is kind of taken a lot more time than he initially expected.
We knew that was going to happen, though. He's like, yeah, just a few weeks. I'll be back. And we're like, no, bro. That's a newborn baby. I don't think you understand how much work that is. We don't even have one, but we know that that's a lot of work. We're not going to see you for months.
More like 18 years, probably.
Well,
If we're lucky.
Little man did have his first birthday in October. Yeah. He's so cute. He's such a sweet baby.
Yep, he's walking.
I don't even like kids, but well, I like him and our nieces and our nephews, but I kind of draw the line at that.
Other than that, I like other. It's like it's not that I don't like kids. I don't like other people's kids.
Yeah.
Unless they're obviously in family, then yeah.
Well, then they're ours,
right.
You know. So.
But sometimes it's like, if your kid is cool and well behaved, yes. If your kid is not well behaved and demon in public, yeah, I don't like that kid.
You know, but like, you know, kids are still gonna be kids,
right? But if we ever acted up in public, oh man.
Oh well, that was back when it was appropriate to give death threats.
Yes. Well, I guess you could still technically give threats now. You just can't act on anything now. Hey, I'm going to spank your butt. Can't do that anymore, apparently.
Yeah, well, and you see these teenagers in the grocery store and stuff like that. It's like, you could have benefited from the word no and an ass whooping. But we are getting way off topic now.
Coffee is another cool thing. I like whiskey, coffee, everything. There's a mug up above me that, according to the ATF, is a sign that we are anti-government. But, yeah, Chris...
The sign for the Marines?
No, that's it's the Don't Tread on Me snake. So Chris and I did a whole podcast where the FBI has come out with all these symbols that you're basically could be a anti-government militia threat. And obviously you have the normal, white supremacist stuff on there, but a lot of there was a big section of just the Betsy Ross flag was on there.
Why?
That Don't Tread on Me sign was up there. The Come and Take It, the Alamo sign was on there. A lot of the gun-related stuff. Anything that says 2A is a signal. So that's what.
So pretty much anything with any kind of historical significance.
Yes.
Means that you're against the government when, historically speaking, we wouldn't have a government without, the way things went, like the Betsy Ross flag that happened after our government was established.
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting ridiculous. So I saw that cup today at Bass Pro. I'm like, it was like $8. I'm like,
shit, isn't Nancy Pelosi old enough to remember the formation of the 18 original or 13 original colonies?
Probably.
Christ almighty.
But it's crazy to think that, this like we say all the time, we love Massachusetts. We love the history there because that's where a lot of this happened. But that state is so anti.
I would never live there.
Second Amendment. It's crazy.
I would never live. I love visiting it. I love visiting New England. I think it's gorgeous, and I love the history, and I love the food, and I love being on the water. Couldn't pay me enough to live there. Not at all.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find this really quick.
The Punisher Skull. Are they serious? Isn't that a movie?
Yeah. So this
or
is their
comic.
FBI's Domestic Terrorism Symbols Guide. Militia Violent Extremism. And here's the symbols that if you have these on anything or represent these, then Betsy Ross flag, the Punisher flag, anything with 2A on it. You got the Gadsden flag, the Revolutionary War image. Come and Take It.
The Liberty Tree.
Yeah. Which and the thing that gets me the most is the Betsy Ross flag, the Gadsden flag, and the Don't Tread on Me flag, or the Come and Take It flag, the Moan Lab or whatever it's called.
And the warrior culture thing, I see a helmet like that, and I immediately think of gladiators, in Rome. Are they serious?
So, devil's advocate here, because I like to play devil's advocate. If you see most extremist groups, right, they have these symbols. So I get that side, but then on the flip side, you get just us who love guns, and we're gonna have the Gadsden flag. I like the Betsy Ross flag, because was our first flag basically and everything, and the revolution.
The 13 original colonies. Yeah. What's so bad about that?
A lot of this is Second Amendment related, so yeah, I support the Second Amendment. So I like these symbols, and apparently, these are domestic terrorism symbols. So that's where we're headed.
Living with a terrorist.
That's why I got that cup specifically to put up there. Yeah. So there you go. We did a whole podcast on that, but yeah, that's a thing now. So
I don't like people.
there was a TikTok video Chris and I talked about and actually showed it on the podcast where there was a kid he's in elementary school, and he had the Gadsden flag, which is this one with the snake that says "Don't tread on me," just a patch on his backpack. He was asked to leave class, and then they called his mother and said he needs to remove this patch or else he's not allowed to go back to class. And then luckily the kid, who was super, I forget how old he was, but he was pretty young, knew the whole history behind that. And his mother, luckily they didn't call in his father. His mother came up there and she's like, basically put them in their place. And they could not explain why that was offensive. The teacher originally said it was racist. It was a symbol for racism. But then
it's not.
I know the mother had to put her in her place with that and kind of explain what that actually meant. And after it went viral on TikTok and everything, then they finally like, okay, the kid was right and the mom was right. You're fine.
But most of the time, what people think is offensive, they don't know why they think it's offensive. They've just heard it's offensive, and it's that sheep mentality. Like, if you're going to be offended by something, do your research on it, do your fact checks, and then be offended by it. Don't just follow the sheep herd.
See, you do well fitting in for Chris.
Oh, thanks.
Chris is very opinionated too, and it's funny because Chris is so opinionated, and I love to play devil's advocate with Chris.
I love hanging out with Chris. He's funny.
Right. But he is so fun to play. Like him and I are both in agreements on a lot of things, but for me to play devil's advocate and be like question him on stuff, it's so much fun.
Oh, well, yeah, I could see that.
Because you got to have, I mean, we're obviously going to agree on everything that, related to a lot of this gun stuff, but then I'm like, okay, thinking from the other side, here's what, they think and all this stuff. But why do you need an AR-15 and all this stuff? It's just fun to get a little rise out of Chris, because when we first started the podcast, as you know, Chris was quiet and timid. Didn't really talk much. And Hunter and I were like, Chris, you got to talk more. You got to talk more. Now, that's not an issue.
You didn't have a direction then, and you have a direction now, and he's very much found his niche.
Yeah.
And he's much more comfortable now. Like Chris comes in our house, like he sees me, he's not like, oh, hey Marie, like he's like, you want to hear some stuff? And I'm like, yes, I want to hear all of the fucked up shit happening right now. Please do go on.
Yep. And it takes a while. I mean, we're literally talking to a camera. I mean, we're having a conversation between us, but you've actually done really good and are just, been mainly looking at the camera. Kudos to you. Yeah, it's weird at first, and for a long time it's weird. But once you get some whiskey in you and start it's like having a conversation, and yeah.
Well,
You didn't want to come on this, but it seems like you've been doing pretty good. We've been recording for almost an hour now, so.
Oh well, good. Kudos to me.
Exactly. See,
so I need to hold up a sign that says "help." Just kidding. I really didn't want to. And he's like, "Don't you want to do it with me?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "For my birthday." I'm like, "God damn it."
Well, the reason is obviously Chris wasn't feeling well, but we normally record on Wednesdays and it goes out Fridays, but I'm going to be out of town in Phoenix for work on Wednesday. So I need to record something sooner. So I'm like, Marie, I want to get this out because, as we've said before, episode 100 is when we're going to we've had it before, but we're going to bring on the Jack Daniel's Frank Sinatra Select.
I'm going to be on that episode.
Oh, now you want to be on a podcast, huh?
Actually, for that?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
we've tried it.
I know it's delicious.
So,
and I never get to have it. It's going to be like Christmas,
right,
which is coming.
Oh.
Maybe on one of the episodes we'll share all of our elves shenanigans.
Yes. Maybe that one. So, actually no, I think I think that was on a podcast actually last year. Maybe that was the last one you were on, is when we went, or maybe Chris and I just talked about that.
I think you guys talked about it. We did not do one.
We do a lot of the Elf on the Shelf stuff.
We?
Yeah, you. You hated it and thought it was stupid. And I bought an elf and hid it in the kitchen just to piss you off for when you saw it. But then you took it and just ran with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got some ideas.
But this weekend, this last weekend, Chris, Alan, and I actually tried some really good whiskey. Alan won. He didn't win. He still had to pay, but he still won the option to buy it. Was the twice barreled Jack Daniel's rye, which was it's hard to find. So he got that, and then Chris got some like special Woodford Reserve that we tried. It was like 127 proof, which was crazy, but it's still good. And then I found a bottle of Jack Daniel's 10-year. So we kind of put those three head to head, and then also threw in the Sinatra Jack.
Yeah, I haven't seen you that drunk in a really long time.
Yeah, I was. And then I had to do the gun show the next day, so I was not. I think it's because I literally got no sleep the day before, and then I was going on like fumes, and then we had a bunch of whiskey, and then yeah, I think it.
You came and laid your head on my shoulder in bed, like I think I'm gonna die.
Yeah, it was rough, but those were really good whiskeys. Out of the bunch, I think believe it or not, the twice barreled rye was my least favorite, just because it was 100 proof.
Yeah.
And you tried it. It had a weird flavor profile. I don't know.
The one you guys tricked Joe with?
No. Oh. That we tried on Saturday. Anyway, we might have those back on, but we did try those. Jack Daniel's 10-year was actually really good. There was a lot of flavor going on with that, whereas the Sinatra Jack is actually smoother, but the 10-year Jack Daniel's, which is just aged for 10 years,
can we do another blind taste test for the 100th, but with the expensive shit?
Maybe the 101 or something. But we're not going to do. I don't think we'll do well. Is it because you
did so terrible?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to do much better. Just saying.
I have a laugh that, well, I laugh with my whole heart, is what I say. But you can hear it through the wall.
Oh, yeah.
So I think they knew every time they got it wrong because I laughed really hard.
Yeah. There you go. Case in point. All right. Well, I think that's going to kind of wrap it up. We've been at this for the hour mark now. And luckily, I didn't think I'd get her on this long. I thought she'd have been like 30 minutes and done. So here we go. That's just the whiskey, I guess. Right?
That's the power of bourbon, right? Baby.
But I think we did come up with a lot of gift ideas for those people if you're looking for anything with the holidays coming up. So unfortunately, we can't links to anything because, well, you used to be able to buy a lot of this stuff on Amazon, but you can hardly find any of it on Amazon anymore.
I'm pretty sure the website is a personalizedgift.com. And that's where you can find like those blown glass whiskey glasses and stuff.
There's a bunch of different sites.
So, or you can just Google blown glass bullet whiskey glass. I'm pretty sure get you where you need to go.
Or just whiskey glass with a bullet. Just Google something, you find it. There's lots of websites for those now. So yeah, you guys have any other ideas for people? Let us know down in the comments. Get those going, especially now that it's December 4th as we're recording this. So 8th when this comes out? Friday the 8th?
Yeah. I'm like done with my Christmas shopping. I have one more person to buy for.
Yeah. So if you're still looking, here's some gift ideas for this year or next year, or even birthday ideas, whatever. Some good stuff. So, well, thanks for filling in Chris's spot, Marie.
You're welcome.
Unfortunately, Chris can't do his outro, but if you do like these tactical wall panels behind us where we're showing our awesome collection of guns, whiskey, and other stuff, check out tacticalwalls.com. Use code BST10 for 10% off. They have these wall panels. They come in packages depending on how many guns you want to do, or you could just buy the walls and build your own. They also have a bunch of cool concealment furniture. So check them out. We get nothing from it, just a coupon code for you guys for 10% off. So check that out. All right. So since Chris isn't here, remember, give us a follow, like, comment, subscribe. I can't remember how he says it, all that stuff. If you guys want to check out the motorcycle channel, check out Rusted KC Moto. If you like motorcycles, check that out. And yeah, Chris does it much better. Anyway, I think Marie can handle this one.
Have a good one.